Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Rovis Rants. Today's episode is on Trevor Bauer and the fact that he's been suspended from the MLB for 2 years for violating their domestic violence policy. Um, just some background information. He apparently had an encounter with a woman who, in April of 2021, they I guess, continued having, contact with each other through text messages and stuff. Uh, in the text message, she actually said she wanted to be choked. She also, to quote her, let me just find where I have that. She said, "Give me all the pain." So it turns out that in her second encounter, she says that he choked, punched, sodomized, um, all without her consent. And that apparently he had been rough even on the first encounter and had choked her and I guess done some other, I guess BDSM, kink, whatever you want to call it, 50 Shades of Grey stuff. Which she obviously was okay with because she ended up meeting him again for a second time. But this time she's saying that she was not consenting. Apparently, she says that he punched her in the face, the vagina, her buttocks, but at no time did she tell him no. Apparently, she didn't say anything to him, and while he was doing that, she says he didn't say anything to her. So if the boundaries were set that you asked for physical pain during those encounters, but during the actual encounter, you don't say, okay, this is too far. My understanding, most people, when they are into that kind of stuff, have code words or, some kind of a safe word. I think that's the word they use, safe word. Um, they obviously didn't establish that. She's saying it went too far. Um, but it wasn't until June. So these encounters were April and May. In June, she went and got a temporary restraining order. And it was one of those immediate restraining orders. But then when they actually had the the trial for the restraining order, which was took 4 days, it was denied. The thing that kind of makes it even more crazy to me is the fact that she had text messages, not just to him, but to her friends that she had deleted, saying that she was about to get a payout. So it seems that this woman had contrived to put him in a situation where he was either going to pay her one way or another. So, she was setting this up. At least that's, in my opinion, what it seems to be. Obviously, a woman has a right to say no, and, she may have agreed to some things initially. But if she doesn't, in the act, say, stop, don't do this, then how is he supposed to know? How is he supposed to read your mind? Anyway, so, there was not sufficient evidence to charge him criminally. But the MLB, because apparently two other women have said that they were sort of in the same situation, but apparently these two women, the first one he was in a relationship with, refused to take it any further because he said that he would take legal action against her. So she dropped it. After all the restraining order and all that was, and the criminal charges were dropped, the third woman came out, contacted the MLB, said that she was in the same situation. But again, she was also in a relationship with him. He says with all three women, it was all consensual. There was nothing above and beyond what they agreed to. Um, and again, people are into different things, so that's their business. But he has now been suspended for 2 years for violating the domestic violence policy of the MLB. He is appealing the decision, and it will go to arbitration. He will lose $60 million for those 2 years. So, what should happen if there's no way to prove that he went above and beyond what was agreed to? Number one, should he be suspended from the MLB? And should it be a 2 year suspension? Because that's quite long. Number two, should he go after the accuser for literally defaming him and potentially ruining his career? What are your thoughts? Put it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and share to the channel. I personally would sue them if I felt that I did nothing wrong, that I was going to lose $60 million. You defamed my character. That's my rent for the day, because I think that, number one, men need to be a little bit more smart. And I don't even know if it gets to the point where you're like signing a consent form or something. Maybe that's what you got to do to protect yourself nowadays, guys. I don't know. But I think, if you're into that kind of stuff, you need to do things to protect yourself on both sides. Again, I personally, if I was defamed and I was going to lose $60 million, for sure, I would be making this an issue. I would not just drop it, not just, through arbitration with the MLB, but I would go after the accuser. It's time to make a statement. You can't accuse somebody of something and have no repercussions. Granted, there are women who are abused, who, may not necessarily have proof, but when you have text messages where she's asking for certain things and text messages to her friends alleging she's going to get a payout, that to me is enough evidence. And I'm not a lawyer. I can't give criminal advice. I'm talking about my personal opinion. To me, I would think that would be a starting base to have some kind of court proceedings and go from there. But tell me what you think. Put some comments in the bottom. Some people may agree or disagree with me, but I'd like to hear your point of view. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel, and hit the notification button so you get notified when I come back on. Have a great day.